Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the world of photography with your iPhone. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, mastering the right camera settings can make all the difference. Whether you're capturing nighttime, daytime, whatever type of shots. In this video, I'll be sharing the best iPhone camera settings that'll help you unlock the full potential of your device and take your photography game to the next level. So grab your iPhone and let's get started. It is important to note that the settings do change year to year as Apple adds new updates to iOS and as new iPhones come out. Like there'll be another iPhone next month. So for right now, I wanted to share what I think are the perfect settings right now. But before we get into it, I am using the iPhone 14 Pro, so I'll be showing the settings on this, but most of the options should be similar across all iPhones. There may be a couple features here and there that older iPhones maybe won't have. I won't be going into the actual camera app on this video. This is strictly just iPhone settings. So with that, open your phone, go into settings, and then camera. And starting with formats, I usually have it as high efficiency, but the key feature here is the Pro RAW option. So I always have the Pro RAW option enabled, and because the iPhone 14 Pro now supports 48 megapixel pictures, I have the resolution set to 48 megapixels as well. Now, again, this is only supported on the 12 Pro, 13 Pro, and 14 Pro. But if you do have the option for Pro RAW, I would highly recommend enabling it. And why you should use it too is that there's a lot more data to work with. When you take your photos into post and start editing, you have much more control with the exposure, the color, and even the white balance of your photo. So it's also not something you can do very well with traditional JPEGs. So again, I like Pro RAW. If you have an iPhone, definitely set that up. And of course, there are some downsides when shooting with Pro RAW. One is the picture sizes will be much, much bigger. So I have some photos that are over 100 megabytes a picture, which is just crazy. But that's what it's going to be like when shooting 48 megapixel images. So I use also some sort of backup option like Apple's iCloud service to back up all my pictures. I think it works completely fine. You can do local backups if you like, but I think the cloud is more than enough. So for video capture, I do have Apple ProRes enabled, but I don't actually use this that much. I just like to have that option there where you can kind of go back and forth in settings. So for the settings, I have the resolution, it's 4K at 24 frames. I choose 24 frames a second. You can do 30 frames if you'd like. 24 frames is the more cinematic look. I guess that's kind of the industry standard when it comes to filmmaking, but 30 FPS is totally fine too. I'll give you a slightly different look. Motion blur will be a little bit different. I also have image stabilization on, that's enabled. And then everything else is basically disabled, especially HDR video. I would definitely highly recommend disabling that. I don't think HDR video really looks that good, and it sometimes just makes the footage look very artificial, I guess is the best word. So next section, record slow-mo, record cinematic. I haven't really adjusted any of those. I sort of just leave them as they are. Preserve settings is a big one, and this will make probably the biggest change on your phone. I use these settings, and they're enabled for camera mode. So when I open the camera app, it goes back to where I left it. So if I've left it in photo, if I left it in video, it'll go back to whichever one I left it on, and also save any of the settings that I have at that time. The other ones I pretty much leave on default. So if we go down, I have a grid enabled view. I have outside of the frame disabled. This is usually enabled by default For the grid, the reason why I have that is so that it helps me compose my shots. It will really help compose your shots as well, making them a lot better, trying to figure out where things are in the frame. There's also this new option of photographic styles. I don't usually mess around with that. Prioritize faster shooting is enabled. Lens correction is enabled. Macro control is enabled. And that's pretty much it. The rest you can get really lost in, but for this video, that's where we're gonna go. So if you found this video helpful, definitely leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more photography guides and tips. Feel free to drop your questions or thoughts in the comments below. So until next time, keep snapping and creating. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.